brought before him at this time. Citizens' comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Comments about any of the agenda items are appreciated by the board of directors and may be taken into consideration at this time or during that agenda item. Please complete a public input form if you desire to address the board. All remarks and questions addressed to the board shall be addressed to the board as a whole and not to any individual member thereof. And I'll go first. I'm going to make a public comment. First thing I'd like to report is the district's running fine. Water flowing. Our road repair project is wrapping up. Our police are policing. The day-to-day operations are fine. We are in need of a general manager, and we are here to continue our search for a general manager. The timing of this meeting, I understand, is unfortunate. I want to strive for maximum transparency. This was not an attempt to do it so less people could come. This is the only time we could do it. We have urgency to address this matter. So that's why we did it that way. We may try harder to not do it. Didn't anticipate this much pushback. There's been some pretty unpleasant chatter on social media about me and my reported relationship with one of our GM candidates, Shelby Williams, and I wanted to just clarify it. Shelby and I do know each other. We met in July. We were introduced by a mutual friend who thought that because we both serve on board, we might like to meet each other. And I've sought to meet other officials in different jurisdictions just to network. And we kind of hit it off. We have met, I believe, a total of 4 times for coffee. That's the extent of our relationship and our friendship. We're certainly friendly. I wouldn't call that a close personal friend. I do like the guy. The part about quid pro quo and my political aspirations. If you want to know what my political aspirations are, you should probably ask me, but I'll tell you now. They're not much, if any. I'm enjoying this, usually. If I were to ever contemplate another office, it would be Congress or the Senate. And I don't think I'm positioned for that. I'm 59 years old, haven't really taken the path to get there. So I don't see it. And beyond that, this takes more time than I realized, and it doesn't really pay. And again, at my age, I'm not quite ready to retire. I need to work some more productive years, and this is really kind of affecting my job. I will see it through. I do not give up. I undertook this challenge, and I will see it through. When you're on board, you're tired of what you can say. There's a lot that you cannot say, and there's a lot that I wish I could say that I can. Is what it is. You have to maintain confidentiality for many reasons. I want to give kudos to all of these guys during this time. They've all stepped up big in different ways to keep this thing going. I know that there are loose ends. I see in one of the comment cards. We will get to them. The major things are being covered. Hopefully we'll have someone in place soon, and we'll get back to normal. So that is my comment. Thank you. Next up, Maggie Hernandez.
Thanks for having me. Sounds like I'm fortunate to have met both of our candidates now, and I am glad to see that we do have 2 candidates here. With a brief chat, I'm glad to hear some of the background from one of them. Curious to know why one of them was only interviewed by one of our board members. That's kind of painting a picture in my mind as to who is looking out for our best interests and who is not. And I think that the residents really need to be paying attention to that, because the background night and day difference, night and day, as far as the experience needed to do this job successfully and in the best interest of the residents. So I know you guys are going to go back there and chat in executive session, as you should, for employment discussions. When you come back out here to vote, there is two considerations that you need to have in mind. One, who is qualified and has the right experience to do this job. Number two, who is going to serve the residents, nearly 20,000 residents of Elm Ridge, the best. That's it. That's absolutely it. Those two questions only. And if your decision involves any other information besides those two, I don't think you're doing your jobs. Thank you.
Thank you. John Denver.
Good afternoon, directors. First of all, I'd like to express my concern of scheduling this meeting at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. That limits the ability of a lot of residents to be able to attend. So obviously you've already heard that, but I'll add to the list of people that are concerned by that. Next, regarding the selection of the general manager, I hope that the board will be transparent in regarding the process by sharing who was interviewed and by whom. I'd like to know how the selected candidate is qualified to run a water district. And lastly, I hope if the selected candidate has any type of friendship, which Mike just acknowledged, that board member recuse themselves from the vote. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comment?
Sorry, this is kind of like random, because I can't get a hold of somebody that's running this place. We have this blob, I don't know how to call it still, in the pond between Greenview and Georgia. There's stuff growing out of it now, so it's actually adding weight to it. And the kids and all the adults also have to step over it to use the walk paths. We've gotten tons of complaints about it, but to the HOA and the infrastructure committee. So I thought it was going to be gone months ago. It's dried out and now it's wet again because of the rain and stuff. So when is that going to be removed? Thanks.
Jennifer Butler.
So I am one of the candidates for the general manager position. I'm thankful to be here today to meet members of the public and the board completely. A little background information about me. I've been an Aubrey resident for over 20 years. I graduated from Aubrey High School, went to college. I have a bachelor's degree in communication studies. And the bulk of my work experience has been governmental management. I started out at Mustang Special Utility District when the district was still extremely small, and was lucky to be there to experience the growth. So I actually had a few different roles there as I grew and became a larger organization. So I started out as development coordinator and public relations. So I actually attended several of the district Savannah's Christmas events and those sort of things, back to school events, to help build the brand of Mustang with residents, because that was something that had not been done prior to creating that position. Then over the years, I was promoted to public affairs manager. So I've been really invested in building the brand, social media, creating a user-friendly website, getting out in front of the public for the district, and really giving a face to the company. So that was my main goal in that role. And then when the district grew and was large enough to have a position for an assistant general manager, I was promoted to that. So I was the first one in that role. And we really, from the ground up, built what that looked like. And I was in charge of managing and leading all of the administrative functions and all of those departments. So customer service, billing, contracts that had anything to do with any of that, development, still public relations. I was in charge of human resources for the whole organization. But really, as I expressed yesterday, it was really neat that I got to be there from kind of, I want to say, the ground floor up. It was created in 1966, but it didn't grow until the 2000s. So I really got to experience operations, what it takes to run a water utility and sewer, contracts for service water and sewer. So really a huge overlay of what it takes to run a utility is my background. Currently, I have not been working in the private sector. I've actually been volunteering as the president of the Aubrey 380 Area Chamber. So I was appointed to that in COVID, and as you all know, was a disaster for small nonprofits. And so when we came out of COVID and it was time to get back in the public and have social gatherings and whatnot again, we really didn't have the funds to pay an executive director. So I kind of took over as the executive director as my role as president. And so I put a lot of time and effort into building that and restructuring. And then finally, we had enough funds to hire an executive director that we were able to turn that over to. So that's been the last 3 years of my focus really is building that back up. So I have a lot of information and a lot of I don't want to say connections, relationship building and growth with area municipalities, with governmental leaders. We served 7 utility districts, plus small towns. So I know a lot of the city leaders, a lot of those, the way the cities are ran, a lot of the structures for the contracts, so I have a lot of experience with governmental budgeting and all of those sort of issues that come with that. But to say that, just to let you all know that I have experience with what's happening in this area, especially when it comes to utilities. I understand what's coming for water and sewer. And so I really have kept myself in the loop on those issues and know that North Texas is growing and expanding at a rate that's hard to keep up with, and that's going to impact every district, regardless of build out. So anyways, I look forward to meeting all of you. And if anybody has any questions after, I'll be here as well. So, thank you for having me.
Thank you. We were going to let both candidates have a chance to speak. So, ready, Shelby?
Absolutely. Would you prefer that I address the board or the members in attendance?
Whatever you feel comfortable.
Yes. Okay. I'll try to split the baby. Okay. So my name is Shelby Williams. I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight. I am a council member in Plano, where I was elected in 2019. I've spent my career helping organizations achieve stability and success. I have an undergraduate degree in software development. Please don't ask me to develop anything. It's been years. And an MBA from UT Austin. I'm sorry if there are any Aggies in the room, but it's okay. My oldest daughter is an Aggie, so we're kind of working through that. I spent many years with Deloitte Consulting, and conventional wisdom holds that a year in consulting is worth anywhere from 3 to 5 in industry. And I've been on both sides of the equation, and I can tell you that. So I've served Fortune 1000 clients across the country with some of their most challenging problems. And in 2019, when I got involved, I was elected to Plano City Council. I got involved in pretty much every area of the city. And then, being elected in 2019, in 2020, some stuff happened that wasn't in the brochure. From between just the years 2020 and 2021, between COVID, between the civil unrest, snowmageddon, issues with the North Texas Municipal Water District, inflation, 40-year high inflation, et cetera. Just those 2 years were worth about a decade in city government, kind of along the same parallel as experience in consulting. I also spent several years, by the way, with Toyota Financial Services in their new North American headquarters in Plano. And I got deeply involved with city government from the get-go, but especially after 2020 and 2021. And it encompassed many areas. So the water district, North Texas Municipal Water District, was actually one of my focal points when I first got involved. Handling our growth and development and our property taxes were my 2 biggest, but facilitating improvements to the North Texas Municipal Water District, which serves 13 cities, of which we're a member, was one of my priorities. But it encompassed more than just water, much more than just water. Public safety from both our police and fire, as well as sanitation, growth and development, ILAs with community partners, both public and private, relationships with additional cities, Collin College District, County Commissioner's Court, and the state legislature. I've worked with, I'm fairly active in the state legislature, and I've worked with our local legislators, both in the House and the Senate, for the past several sessions on bills impacting Plano. Most of them successful, not all of them. One of the notable ones, which we're going up to bat again next session in January, is for DART, Reform and Transparency, Dallas Area Rapid Transit, which fortunately you're not suffering from in Elm Ridge. But all of this is combined, my professional experience, the past nearly 6 years in municipal government, along, like I said, more than just water, but every facet of city government. And I'm on the City of Plano Finance Committee. So every year I'm involved in a detailed budget analysis and audit reporting for our roughly $760 million budget. So I'm intimately familiar with the challenges of municipal government, especially as they translate from going from a growing community to nearly a built-out community, which is the boat that Plano's in. And I have enough experience with the challenges that affect local government in North Texas in general, based on my relationships across area cities with mayors, council members, county commissioners, and legislators. But I also have a different enough perspective that I can critically evaluate what may work and what may not, with a respect enough for the tradition and the way things have been done to understand whether they still apply. Most things that are no longer a good idea were once a really good idea once upon a time. And so I have the experience professionally and with local government to be able to eye that critically and be able to provide an additional perspective from my own experience in a variety of areas to be able to do what's best for the people of Elm Ridge and lay a solid foundation in this transitionary period for Elm Ridge to set the community up for future success. I really appreciate you having me out here tonight. I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you. Are there any other public comments?
Can we make comments?
Well, I mean, no.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Well, I mean, we've already used our public comment.
Well, I mean, I didn't meet this person until now.
It's up to the board.
No, that's fine.
Go ahead.
So I Googled, and I saw that he's a GOP party chair for Collin County. Is that something you will continue doing while if you get hired, or and how would that be a conflict?
There's no conflict. Well, yes, I was recently elected this year as the chairman of the Collin County Republican Party. I do that simultaneously with my consulting career as well as Plano City Council, and there have been no conflicts today. In fact, I have gone to pains to forge positive relationships with not just Republican elected officials, but Democrat as well. At my re-election campaign for city council last year, despite being a well-known Republican in Collin County, I had people there who were Republicans, Democrats, and independents all supporting me. And even though I'm the Collin County Republican Party chair, one of our state reps in Collin County, Mahalo Lisa, in HD 70, I consider her a friend, and we have a very positive relationship. And in fact, she has helped. I was talking about working with area legislators on bills pertinent to Plano. She helped with one of our bills last year, and she and I have a very positive relationship.
Are there any more public comment? Got a motion to close public comments.
I'll make a motion to close public comments.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 2, consider status of district administrative positions.
Yeah, so I'll recommend that we go into closed session under 551-474 of the Open Meetings Act to discuss and provide introduce to the candidates if that's what the board desires.
Do I have a motion to go into closed session?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? On the issue of general manager, we are not going to take action tonight. We have determined it will be best to wait until our regular scheduled meeting and do it very publicly. We are thinking our regularly scheduled meeting is going to be moved up a day because we can't have this spot or the Savannah Clubhouse. We would have to meet at the Prairie House. I don't think that's the best place to do this. So we are contemplating doing it the 18th.
Yeah, we're going to, with Christmas, everybody's trying to cram different meetings in different places. So we're going to figure out what the best day to do it. If we can do it Thursday, great. If we do it Wednesday, but it'll be at the regular time of 6 p.m. It's just maybe a different day because we'll provide plenty of notice for that. We just, we're gonna try to do what we can. So.
And to have a motion on the administrative assistant.
I will make the motion to officially hire Cynthia Ritchie as administrative assistant. The start date of the 16th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Pretty business.
And anything specific, anything else that we need to make sure is on the agenda that we haven't already talked about?
Not this time.
Okay.
Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?